The Carolingian Empire was a significant political entity in Western Europe during the early Middle Ages. It is named after the Carolingian dynasty, which ruled much of Western Europe during this period. The empire's most prominent figure, Charlemagne, played a crucial role in its expansion and the revival of learning and culture known as the Carolingian Renaissance. The empire's eventual fragmentation was formalized by the Treaty of Verdun in 843. This video will explore the rise of the Carolingian Empire under Charlemagne, the cultural and intellectual revitalization during the Carolingian Renaissance, and the division of the empire through the Treaty of Verdun. Charlemagne, the architect of the Carolingian Empire. Early life and ascension to power. Charlemagne, also known as Charles the Great, was born around April 2, 748, to Pepin the Short and Bertrada of Laon. His grandfather, Charles Martel, had already laid the foundations for the Carolingian dynasty by defeating the Muslim armies at the Battle of Tours in 732. Upon Pepin's death in 768, the Frankish kingdom was divided between Charlemagne and his younger brother, Carloman. The coexistence of the two brothers was uneasy, but Carloman's sudden death in 771 allowed Charlemagne to assume control over the entire Frankish kingdom, military campaigns and expansion. Charlemagne's reign is marked by numerous military campaigns that significantly expanded the Frankish kingdom. His first major campaign was against the Lombards in Italy. In 774, Charlemagne crossed the Alps, defeated the Lombard king Desiderius, and took the title of King of the Lombards. This conquest not only expanded his realm but also established his dominance over northern Italy. Charlemagne's campaigns against the Saxons were among the longest and most brutal. The Saxons, a pagan people living in present-day Germany, resisted Frankish control fiercely. From 772 to 804, Charlemagne waged a series of wars against them, culminating in their eventual subjugation and conversion to Christianity. The conquest of the Saxons extended the Carolingian Empire to the Elbe River and solidified Charlemagne's reputation as a formidable military leader. In 778, Charlemagne launched an expedition into Spain to assist the Muslim emir of Saragossa against the Umayyad Caliphate of Córdoba. This campaign, although not entirely successful, led to the creation of the Spanish March, a buffer zone between the Carolingian Empire and Muslim Spain. Charlemagne also secured his eastern borders by subjugating the Avars, a nomadic people who had settled in the Danube basin. Between 791 and 796, he launched several campaigns that resulted in the destruction of the Avar Khaganate and the incorporation of their territory into his empire. Coronation as emperor. The culmination of Charlemagne's achievements came on Christmas Day in the year 800. During a visit to Rome, Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne as Emperor of the Romans in St. Peter's Basilica. This event marked the revival of the Western Roman Empire and the establishment of the Carolingian Empire as its successor. The coronation also symbolized the fusion of Roman, Christian, and Germanic elements, which became the foundation of medieval European civilization. The Carolingian Renaissance, revival of learning and culture. The Carolingian Renaissance was a period of cultural and intellectual revival that occurred during the late 8th and 9th centuries. It was characterized by a renewed interest in classical learning, the reform of the Church, and the standardization of Latin. Charlemagne's efforts to promote education and learning played a crucial role in this revival. Educational reforms. Charlemagne recognized the importance of education for the administration of his vast empire. He issued the Admonitio Generalis in 789, a decree that called for the establishment of schools in every cathedral and monastery. These schools were to provide instruction in reading, writing, arithmetic, and religious studies. Charlemagne also invited scholars from across Europe to his court at Aachen, which became a center of learning and intellectual exchange. Alcuin of York and the Palace School. One of the most influential figures of the Carolingian Renaissance was Alcuin of York, an English scholar and cleric. Charlemagne invited Alcuin to Aachen in 782 to lead the Palace School, which served as an educational model for the rest of the empire. Under Alcuin's guidance, the Palace School developed a curriculum based on the trivium, grammar, rhetoric, and logic, and the quadrivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. Alcuin also played a key role in the reform of the Latin language. He standardized Latin grammar and orthography, which improved the clarity and consistency of written texts. This reform had a lasting impact on the Church and the administration of the empire, as it facilitated communication and record-keeping, manuscript production and preservation. The Carolingian Renaissance saw a significant increase in the production and preservation of manuscripts. Monasteries and scriptoria, writing rooms, across the empire copied and preserved classical texts, religious works, and legal documents. The development of the Carolingian minuscule, a clear and legible script, facilitated the copying process and improved the readability of texts. The preservation of classical texts during this period was crucial for the transmission of ancient knowledge to later generations. Many works of classical literature and philosophy that might have otherwise been lost were copied and preserved by Carolingian scribes. Artistic and architectural achievements. The Carolingian Renaissance also saw a revival of artistic and architectural endeavors. Charlemagne sought to emulate the grandeur of the Roman Empire by constructing impressive buildings and commissioning elaborate artworks. The Palatine Chapel in Aachen, built between 792 and 805, is a prime example of Carolingian architecture. Its octagonal design was inspired by Byzantine and Roman models, and it served as Charlemagne's royal chapel and mausoleum. Carolingian art is characterized by its synthesis of classical, Christian, and Germanic elements. Illuminated manuscripts, such as the Godescalc Evangelistory and the Utrecht Psalter, showcase the intricate and vibrant style of Carolingian illumination. These works often featured elaborate decorations, including interlacing patterns, animal motifs, and biblical scenes. The Treaty of Verdun, division of the Carolingian Empire. Context and causes. The death of Charlemagne in 814 marked the beginning of the decline of the Carolingian Empire. His son and successor, Louis the Pious, struggled to maintain the unity of the empire. Louis's reign was marked by internal conflicts, rebellions, and power struggles among his sons. Upon Louis's death in 840, his three surviving sons, Lothair, Louis the German, and Charles the Bald, engaged in a bitter civil war over the succession. The Treaty of Verdun. The conflict was temporarily resolved by the Treaty of Verdun in 843. The treaty divided the Carolingian Empire into three distinct kingdoms, each ruled by one of Louis the Pious's sons. Lothair, the eldest son, retained the title of emperor and received the central portion of the empire, known as Middle Francia. This kingdom included the imperial capital of Aachen, as well as the regions of Italy, Burgundy, and the Low Countries. Louis the German received the eastern portion of the empire, known as East Francia. This kingdom included the territories east of the Rhine River, encompassing much of present-day Germany. Charles the Bald received the western portion of the empire, known as West Francia. This kingdom included the territories west of the Rhine River, encompassing much of present-day France. Impact and legacy. The Treaty of Verdun had far-reaching consequences for the Carolingian Empire and the future of Europe. The division of the empire weakened the central authority and made it more vulnerable to external threats, such as Viking invasions and Magyar raids. The fragmentation of the empire also led to the rise of regional powers and the gradual emergence of feudalism. Despite the political fragmentation, the cultural and intellectual achievements of the Carolingian Renaissance had a lasting impact on European history. The reforms and innovations introduced during this period laid the foundation for the later development of medieval European civilization. The preservation of classical texts and the standardization of Latin contributed to the continuity of learning and scholarship throughout the Middle Ages. The division of the Carolingian Empire also set the stage for the formation of modern European states. East Francia eventually evolved into the Holy Roman Empire and the precursor to modern Germany. West Francia developed into the Kingdom of France. The central portion of the empire, Middle Francia, was further divided and eventually absorbed by its neighbors, but its legacy persisted in the form of contested territories and regional identities. The Carolingian Empire, under the leadership of Charlemagne, played a pivotal role in shaping the course of European history. Charlemagne's military conquests and administrative reforms expanded and consolidated the empire, while his support for education and culture sparked the Carolingian Renaissance. The division of the empire through the Treaty of Verdun marked the end of Carolingian unity but also laid the groundwork for the development of modern European states. The legacy of the Carolingian Empire endures in the cultural, intellectual, and political foundations it established for medieval and modern Europe.